What's going on, Legionnaires? Welcome to an episode of the Legion Comic Correction, where we talk all things comic books. Woohoo!
Let's go.
Man,
Let's go.
This is the summer. Right? We had Ant-Man,
Let's go.
We had Ant-Man 3, which we know obviously didn't do so hot. But we got Guardians. We got Spider-Man Across the Universe, or the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
We got
Close enough.
Batman. It's something. We got the Flash. I'm sorry, I said Batman because I'm not really excited for the Flash himself, but I'm excited for Michael Keaton.
Batman.
That's fair.
So
That's
the
fair.
Flash, Batman movie with the Flash in it, about Batman, hopefully more than the Flash.
Yes. See, that statement in and of itself, how confusing that was.
Yeah.
For you to describe that movie is about a full summation of that movie.
Of that movie, 100%.
And the process that it has
the
been up
process.
until
Yes.
now.
Yes.
It's
pretty much.
It's been a bit of a train wreck, but I'm still excited for it.
I'm not.
You ever watch a train wreck hit a roller coaster? That's what it looked like.
No, I haven't. But that is what. Here's the
Now I
problem.
want to.
Here's the problem. I want to see that.
I'm into that.
I wanna
but I
watch
don't
that.
want to see the Flash.
Well, you ever play Roller Coaster Tycoon?
I was going to
Yes.
say, it's just like Roller Coaster Tycoon.
You would build
Yes.
roller
Give
coasters.
children the ability to build a theme park and
No.
then give them the option to just launch people off
people
for
into
no
the
reason.
ocean.
Loop
Not
de
a
loop.
single person
Send
after they
it.
learned that they could just kill hundreds of people actually completed an actual
You know,
roller
That
someone-
was
coaster.
the prequel to Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would, because you
Between that and Minesweeper, probably the society's worse.
you pick the people up and they're like dangling from your little pointer.
Yep,
And you can
yep.
just drop them in the lake.
Oh yeah.
And they just drown.
Oh yeah.
If I'm honest, my favorite was grabbing the mascots.
Yep.
Because they're like the big, like,
Oh, they're
fluffy
the-
creatures.
yeah, they were
They're
the
like,
best.
and then you just
Yeah.
drop them in the lake,
Yep.
and they just flounder for a bit.
Okay. Where's the SKD, whatever?
We haven't had
It's
a
been a
short in a
long
while.
Yeah.
For
It's been a
There it
minute.
is. That's one of the
serial
beginnings.
killer statements
Well,
over here.
Anyway, we've also got like Ahsoka, and we've got Secret Invasion, and we've got
Let's
the
go.
Marvels, and we've got maybe Acolyte.
Nobody is interested in the Marvels.
I'll look up
the
the
new
Acolyte.
The new trailer didn't look that bad.
It looks horrible.
Yeah, Acolyte though, that's the one about the Sith.
Yes.
The TV show about the
Yes.
Sith. We're not sure if it's coming out. Harry's looking up now. Either this year or like beginning of next year, but it's soon. We got so
2024.
So much going on.
2024.
So
All right, next
much
year.
going
So
on.
next year.
But we're-
Early, though. Early 2020.
I was figuring. I figured first quarter.
We're
you know,
just
beginning.
gonna
as
keep
long as this writer's
Keep
Well,
the train rolling.
the writer-
through
And
the roller
flip it.
coaster.
the writers
Flip it.
the writers' strike might have something to say about that, though. Unfortunately, so we might not. Who knows?
It's like, it's a horrible time to be doing this. It's
I
like,
know.
we had
So much is coming
COVID,
out.
and then we have now a writer's strike. Great.
Strike
Yeah.
it.
Thanks.
Well,
You guys are
hopefully-
trying to better yourselves and get better retirement.
We say hopefully they
Think
get
of all of
better.
us that
Do this ununionized.
Yeah, well, we're talking about Guardians Volume 3 today. Just came out. We've done some like quick reviews.
Fresh take.
This was last night. We saw it. Last night was opening night.
Saw it last
we saw it
night,
last
yes.
night.
Yeah,
we're
probably one of the
together
first times
today.
we've ever done this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
right
the
after.
day after.
No, Batman. The Batman we did.
But that would. But we
I don't
saw
know
it-
how we did that.
I don't know how we
you know
did that
how because we
either.
saw it on a Thursday. We saw
Yeah,
it on a
That's
Thursday.
right.
We
That's
record on
right,
Friday.
We
We
recorded.
we recorded I think on Saturday, so we struggled through
Oh.
Friday and then
Yeah.
recorded on a Saturday.
Oh, yeah, that's
You're
what we
right.
did.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That was
Right,
still
so we're
so good,
recording
though.
on the same
So
day,
good.
but saw it last
I
night.
don't think I was ever more excited to record about something
Than the Batman?
The Batman.
It's
Yeah.
still
Just the work up to it.
it's a highlight.
And all you haters out there, just hate and
We
potato,
don't-
all right?
Yeah. It's
Get
a
outta
highlight.
here.
It's a
Yeah.
highlight on the comic
It
book
is.
legacy of the last 10 years.
Of the Legion.
100%.
Of the Legion.
Well, we're all that matters.
It's true.
Really, if you look
Anything before 2019 was just a mistake.
at it, 100%. We have corrected. We are in the process of correct. You know what? The high evolutionary.
Yes.
You know, we don't want to rule comic books. We just want to
No.
perfect them.
No, we just want to perfect them. That's exactly
I
right.
just want a face on top of my face. I want a face
Oh
off.
yes,
I want to
I want to face off. Yeah, I love that he said it's a face off,
wanna
and
take my
he's
face
literally a stapled face.
off.
All right, well, we don't want to give any spoilers.
Spoilers.
away.
Yeah, I was about to say spoilers.
Spoilers everywhere, all around us. We're gonna give them to you. So if
Everyone dies.
Wow.
No, they don't.
Wow.
No, they don't. They should.
Look intensifies.
We're
They
gonna
should.
We're going to talk about
They
that.
should, but they
We'll
don't.
talk about that. All right. If you like this kind of stuff and you want to hear us talk about comics and TV shows and movies and video games and all the kinds of stuff that we
Roller
love,
coaster.
All the
that
stuff.
you love, Roller Coaster Tycoon, yeah, definitely. Playing God, it's here. We talk about it. Well, that's Roller Coaster Tycoon, isn't it? That's literally what it is. It's like The Sims,
High
but with
evolutionary.
roller coasters. Yeah.
Maybe he's not a serial killer. Maybe he's just a high level.
Maybe he's just the high evolutionary man.
He is always trying to get me to work out to be a different person.
That's right.
He's always trying to improve you.
Listen, I'm just trying to better you, Harry. It's not that I don't like you. I just
He just
want
wants
you
me to be
better.
stronger.
He gave up on me a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm not
He tried.
making it.
Well, ever
I'm
since
not
you've been
making
diagnosed as the world's
gonna-
healthiest man on Penn
I'm not
Medicine,
There, I
making
got
it.
you there.
I'm
got
not
you
making
the
it to counter Earth. I'm not getting to the next place.
counter
I'm
Earth.
getting killed
You're
and
done.
incinerated.
Raise it.
He's giving me up.
here, step into this glass box real quick, Logan. Where did
Yeah.
this come from?
No. I've just planted strategically things around his house.
That's fair.
We'll see never. So like and subscribe, hit that bell if you like this kind of stuff. We're here every week, and we hope
Every
you are
week.
too.
Every week.
So go down in the description below, hit the links down there. They go to all kinds of cool places where you can support the show if you like it and you want to make it better. If you don't like the show, but you still want to help us out, you can click the like and subscribe because that helps the almighty
And just
algorithm.
mute us. This is what I told
You
people.
could. Just mute us.
If you don't care, but you care about us, just subscribe and then mute us.
Or if you have a different perspective, we will argue with you. So just drop
That's
it in
true.
the comments.
If you like to
and we
argue,
we will
you
have
can
a
call us
little
whatever
back
you
and
want,
forth.
apparently.
Yeah, we'll jump right in.
Evidently, you can just call us whatever you want.
That's
It's
fair.
true.
That's fair.
But don't call us for dinner. Actually, do. We're always hungry.
No, if
Don't
you
call us late
us
for
for
dinner.
dinner, we
That's
will
true.
eat.
We'll eat. We'll show you how to eat.
Faux
Food is
show.
good. We love it. All right. If you go down in the description, though, we've got two main places you can help. One is our website where you can buy sweet merch. I like that. Sweet merch. I like this. And sweet merch, like some of that over there. So go over there and you can help subscribe, help us get better there. You can also help us by joining our Patreon, which helps you get extra
Patreon.
content. It helps
It's a
get
weird
you
name.
Patreon.
It is.
Well, it's
It
like
is a really
patron.
weird
I know, it's like Patron, but
Yeah, it's still a weird name.
it's not.
But
It's not
sci-fi?
Patron, though.
I'm with him.
Yeah,
I'm with
it is-
Harry on this.
It is odd,
It's an
but
odd name.
it makes us the bulk of our money, so I'm not going to diss them.
That's true.
They're
I
pretty
will.
great.
I'll diss you in the street.
Well, you can go there. You get extra content. You
back
get
you up.
behind the scenes
I'll back you
photos. You get chances to vote on stuff. You also get coupons and discounts and all those things for the merch store where you can buy
Yeah.
this cool stuff.
Back and forth. Back and forth.
It's
You can do a
practically
bunch of
free
stuff.
after you pay us some money.
It's a give and take, but there are 3 tiers, and there's a really low tier and there's a higher tier. Get more stuff.
It's so much more fun doing this during the day.
He's always on camera now.
Yeah, it's true. And we have more energy because it's during the day, but that's why we got Zoa, which
Yeah.
is a little bit
Time.
less caffeine because we're it's
tastes good,
daytime.
though.
I'm gonna do this. It's nothing.
I
I'm
know.
about to crank both of these.
Oh, 100%. That was
I
we got
need,
2.
I need a lot more.
Well, it's
Whoa.
good though. It's
I
still
am
good.
not feeling it.
Thanks, The Rock. If you want to come on here and talk to us
Oh, if
about
The Rock comes
all
on
of your
here, oh my
endeavors, we love every bit of it. Even if it's not comic books, we still love it.
Yeah, even if you
because
just
you're The Rock.
give us the people's eyebrow.
What about
Wow.
if he gave us the people's elbow?
Yeah, I take it.
I'll take it. I think I'd
take it to the
that.
face.
100%.
Yeah, I wouldn't even
100%.
And then I'd have him sign my face.
Yep.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
People's elbow was here.
I would
Yep.
I would get the bruise tattooed.
Yep.
So
Like a
I'd
Mike
always,
I'm with
Tyson
all of it.
tattoo.
I'm with all
always
of it.
have the tattoo. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
cool. Always have the memory of the bruise. Be great.
Yep.
All right, well, we're not here to talk about The Rock, unfortunately. We're here to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We are going to do a
My
regular
children
old...
just invaded our podcast. I don't know how they
She
got
just looked
down
at us
here.
and said, I'm disappointed in you. And just
She
closed the
did.
door.
She did. She looked at me with great disappointment
You know
and was
why?
like, I gotta go.
It's because we didn't say hi to her, and we didn't well,
she was
invite
napping,
her
wasn't
on.
she?
Was she? I don't know.
No, she was in QT, Quiet Time.
Oh.
Oh, quiet time.
There's
That
no
quiet
such thing
time.
for that
It's a
one.
good time.
Not that one.
Not that one.
That one doesn't have quiet time.
That one whispers and it's like,
less
Dad!
loud. Less loud time.
Dad.
Dad.
Less loud.
It's a full-on man voice.
Yeah.
That sounds like your time, though.
Yeah, that's Black Canary.
That is Black Canary.
That's true.
100%. That one's
That's
Black Canary.
true.
Blonde, too. It works.
She's blonde.
No
Yep.
way.
Yep.
And she's in karate now.
Blake a Boo Boo. Yep, she is. She's
Dangerous.
Black Canary. I'm training her up to be Black Canary. 100%.
All right, well, we're going to jump into our comic review. It's going to look a little different because this is the day after it came out. We have some numbers, but not all. We'll make some predictions, but we'll go through our Carnage report, our comic review, and then our verdict, and we'll let you guys know what we thought about the movie and whether or not you guys should go and see it. You should definitely listen to us,
Yep.
Yes.
but it's
Agreed.
your choice whether you want to see
100%
it or
listen to
not.
us. Maybe go see the movie.
Don't do what
I
you
think
want.
they
Do what
should.
we want you to do.
Do it. Listen. Listen.
We are creating a perfect society.
Yep.
All right, Carnage report time. All
Can we
right.
call it a Carnage report?
Are there chainsaws?
Why not? No, they're not.
There never will be. This will be the forever-ending question.
The forever question: is there?
This is more of like a.
It's just one of these times.
I don't even know. This is not a carnage report. This is more of like a slight killing spree.
Well, that's one down.
Killing spree.
Killing spree.
All right. Well,
that's one of these.
We're not even done the first episode of today.
You're already done that?
Yeah.
Enjoy it a little bit.
Move on.
Enjoy life.
Carry on.
Carry on.
So, as usual, in our carnage report, we're going to go over how much money it made or is making. That sounded wonderful.
That did sound good.
That was crisp.
There's a real good crack on this.
The Rock, if you would like to sponsor us, we know you have the money, and we will gladly take a little bit of it.
Yeah, we're big fans.
We are big fans. Yeah.
Oh, very big fans.
Very big.
All right.
We talk about how much it made, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that, or how much it's making.
Let's do it.
I know it made at least 1880.
Yep.
It made 18. What?
That's how much I spent.
1464.
Oh, 1464?
Yeah.
Dang,
Cheaper
prices
out
are
here.
cheaper out here.
Yeah.
Cheaper out here, man.
Out here in the
Well, you
boonies.
got to pay for that Regal Warrington. That thing's
Yo, that thing's a friggin'
that's like a
laser
space
tag
station.
Ours is an AMC, so it's a little bit
I'm not
less.
impressed by AMC anymore,
AMC's
man.
well, it's dying
Plymouth
out.
Meeting, we went to see Mario. Horrible.
Yeah, not good.
Really?
Every
Yeah,
chair was
AMC?
broken.
Every single
Wow.
Every chair was broken.
There was like nobody in the theaters,
Nobody.
surprisingly.
Wow.
And so we tried to move seats
Yeah.
so that we could get one that would recline.
Greg and I were in a couples one where you can like lift the center thing.
Ooh.
But did your chair work and mine didn't? Or like neither of ours worked?
No, neither of them worked.
Neither of them worked.
Neither of them worked.
Well, yeah, our AMC was pretty.
Rated-
I mean, it was
rated-
pretty vacant. It was
Well,
pretty vacant in its
I mean,
opening night, but
Mario was rated M, right?
for
the
most
for the masses.
for the most,
It was a good movie, man.
It was a
It
great
was.
movie.
it's over $1 billion now.
Anyway,
It
Moving
did.
on.
It did. It's in the top 50
Yep.
of movies of all time.
Yep.
It's crazy. All right. It beat out some Pixar movies, I think, at this point.
I'm sure it did.
It definitely beat
sure
out
it did.
Despicable Me 3, which was up there. That made over $1 billion too.
Really?
Wow.
I
There's
didn't
quite
know.
a few.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they're great.
it's
All right.
some Mario.
All right, so
What do we got?
Opening weekend so far. Now, this is just for May 5th. So it's like, that's it.
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday.
Yeah,
Wow.
It is already domestically.
Wait, can we guess?
Yeah, go ahead, guess.
go for it.
$274 million.
Holy crap, that's a huge
That would
number.
be that
In
would be
one
like
night?
all time
No,
in one
you're,
night.
You are wrong.
That's wrong.
Dang it.
What do you
That's
think?
definitely wrong.
What do you think, Logan?
If you're feeling
always
really
usually
impressed, I'm
under
going to go
100.
56 million.
You're
56 million.
real close.
Okay.
You're real close. It was 48 million.
Wow.
48 million. That's decent.
That's solid.
And
That's a solid number.
Worldwide, what do you think?
Worldwide.
World Wide Web.
98.
77 million.
77 million. What do you think?
98.
98 million. You was right in between you guys. 83.
Wow.
Look at
Real
us.
good.
Look at us.
Who would have
Who would
thought?
have thought?
200 over here.
Not me.
200 million.
Messed that
Double
up.
down. I'm like 400 million worldwide.
It made $1 billion.
Wait. $579 million.
Every human on Earth saw it.
7 billion.
No, it was
Solid numbers.
solid
numbers out the gate.
83
Yeah.
million. I don't blame it. I mean,
I don't either.
It was.
I don't either.
It was a good. I mean, we'll talk about
We're
it.
gonna-
Obviously,
yeah,
but
keep
it was,
going.
It was.
It was good. We're going to talk about
I
it.
don't want to give anything away.
Logan's like, we'll talk about it.
We're definitely going to talk about it.
No, we're gonna go through the cards report, then we're gone.
Yeah.
We're just gonna leave. We're not gonna talk about it.
Have a good week, guys.
All right.
I stopped
Nailed it.
recording.
Nailed it. You guys have to become a Patreon member, top tier to get the second
To
half.
get
of
the
this.
second half of this video. Oh my word, that would be
Just
so
lost.
horrible.
There's so many people.
All our Patreon people will just quit.
Everyone's gone.
Thank you all, 15 of you,
That's
but
the end
you're
of
out.
Legion. That's the end of Legion.
Well,
Speaking of numbers, though,
Yes.
I know this is small numbers to a lot of people, but it's big numbers to us. We're closing in on 100 subscribers in YouTube.
we're very excited.
Yeah.
about
We're really
that.
close.
Very
everyone
excited
here is just
about
like,
that.
oh dear God, they have no followers.
None. But hey, you know what? For those of you who thought that, because we know you did, then subscribe and make it better.
Yeah. All you have to do is subscribe and then link the
Yeah,
you
don't have
mute
to-
the
you can
bell.
put us on
Yeah,
You will
we're-
never hear from us again.
We
No.
we are closing in on 3,500 downloads.
That's
on,
nice.
on all
On
of
our
our
Spotify
sites.
and
Yeah.
Apple and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting there. We are going to do something special when we hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. We're not 100% sure what yet, but it will be something special.
Apparently.
We're not sure.
Well, we're not sure. Logan's not included. He hasn't been. We didn't tell him that.
I don't think I told you that.
I don't know. I just said, yup. I'm just running with it, dude. We're doing a show right now.
You never run with it. You're always like, I wasn't included.
Yeah.
That's
because there was a whole year without being included.
That was always your game.
He's over that now.
So you're just upset I took the game and said it first.
What?
I didn't know about it.
He just said it. He doesn't know.
I didn't know about it until this moment because I just made it up.
Listen, that's show business.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
All right.
Showbiz, baby.
Who's in this movie, Greg?
I mean, nobody.
Peter Quinn as
Peter Quinn?
John Travolta.
Peter Quill.
No, he's saying from
dear
the
God.
movie.
Oh.
It's from the movie. Did you do the homework?
I was there. I thought you were going to say Patrick Swayze because that's also
That's also good.
All right. So no, Peter Quill was played. We get all the original Guardians back. Chris Pratt comes back as Peter Quill. Bradley Cooper as Rocket. Dave Bautista as Drax. Vin Diesel as Groot. We actually get to hear him say, "I love you guys."
He sounded more like Vin Diesel in this movie than in most of the others. I don't know.
I agree with that. I thought of that too.
I actually heard Vin Diesel in this one.
Do you know why?
Because there was a ad of Vin Diesel right before the movie.
There was. No. I think it's because this version of Groot is the most looking like
most
Vin Diesel.
Jacked.
He's the most thick. You
How
see him?
big is Vin Diesel? I feel like he's
not
not
big.
actually that big.
He's got pretty big arms and stuff.
They make him look big.
He's bad now.
They make him look big.
His muscles are big. He's just not tall. He's just
He's
like not a
glamour
big
muscles.
guy.
He's glamour muscles.
The problem is he hangs out with The Rock.
Literally, okay, this is how
And-
dumb Google is sometimes. How big is Vin? And it's how big is Vineland, New Jersey? How big is Vincent D'Onofrio? That's a good one.
That's
but
a good
Vinland, Vinyl Records, Vincentia, Indiana. What? No, Vin Diesel.
Nobody cares about Vin Diesel apparently.
Well, yeah, this is
Apparently.
We like him,
HGH
though.
Groot, though. This is
He was
Groot
both.
on
Well,
steroids.
did you watch? Did you say we were?
Yes, I
we
did.
saw different.
Of course I did.
Well, I just want to make sure.
How tall do you think Vin Diesel is?
5'9.5".
Yeah, he's not that tall. I would probably say probably in the same area. Maybe 5'11".
What do you think? Well, how tall is he?
It's put in here as 5'5", 11 3/4. So I'm assuming it means a 5'11 3/4.
Yeah.
So he's not even
He's
6
not-
foot.
He's not even 6
He's
foot.
5'5".
I
It
would
says 5,
love-
5, 11
I
3/4.
would love to see a 5'5" Vin Diesel.
Tom Cruise and Vin Diesel fight.
Oh my gosh, a 5'5" Vin
But he's got
Diesel.
so he's got a 50 in
heels.
So he's got a 52-inch chest. I have a
big.
52-inch 54.
Yeah, he's a freaking.
Wait, no.
Yeah,
He's
it's-
a barrel, man. He's a
Yeah,
barrel
no, I
of
guess
a
he is
man.
52.
He's a
Yeah,
barrel of a man. He's just not that big.
He has
He's not that tall.
18-inch biceps. That's not that big.
18-inch. Chris Evans was only a 17 as
okay,
Captain
maybe
America.
it is.
That's
No,
a pretty
he's
big
got
arm.
glamour muscles, but
Yeah.
but this area has been let go.
100%. Well, because
Yeah.
he's in his 50s at this point.
He's
Yeah.
225 pounds.
I mean, look at Bautista. He wore a shirt the entire movie.
By the way,
He's smaller than me.
if we're going off on this tangent of Vin Diesel, at this point you need to play his song that he sang during COVID. The actual
God. Oh,
song
yeah.
he made up during COVID.
No, I don't have to ever.
Yes,
play
Mark
you
that.
do.
Sinclair.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't think
And
we have the
this
rights
part,
to
hear it on here. And
We don't have the rights to that.
Can you do a clip?
Vin Diesel. No,
Can you do a clip?
I don't think so. We're gonna
What
get
was
flagged.
it? Like it was a dance move.
I blocked it from my mind. We're gonna keep going. All right, Vin Diesel was Groot. Karen Gillan came back as Nebula.
She was really good.
Palm Clementine came back as Mantis.
Mm-hmm.
And Zoe Saldana as Gamora. So we get everybody back, which is pretty awesome. And then we get some new people in here and Sean Gunn as Kraglin. We get some new people in here.
I always forget.
Wonderful
Sean Gunn.
additions.
Sean Gunn is wonderful.
Maria Baklova as Cosmo the dog. She's actually the young lady that got started in Borat 2. She's plays Borat's relative or whatever that comes over to the States with him.
Oh, I think I did. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep,
so
yep.
she plays Cosmo the dog, which is pretty cool. And then we get Chukwudi Iwuji as the High Evolutionary.
Oh, he was great.
He was probably
really good.
my favorite
Solid.
part of the movie.
Of
was
this movie,
incredible.
yeah.
Let's get to that.
He was such a good villain. So he's in there. Will Poulter comes in as Adam Warlock, a younger version of Adam Warlock, which I think actually was smart.
It worked.
We'll get into
It
that.
worked.
Yeah, if he came out as the full defender of the Infinity Gems and space Avenger, pretty much.
Yeah.
He would have eclipsed everything. He wasn't the point of this movie.
No, he wasn't.
But he's a good intro because he'll come back.
He's a Superman.
He'll come back.
It's a build up.
Exactly
It's
right.
a build up.
Great cast.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Stellar
it's a
cast.
phenomenal cast.
and Sylvester Stallone
Sylvester Stallone.
came back.
Yeah, bring him in.
Right.
Yeah.
I am the Ravager.
Yeah,
I
no
am
kidding.
the galaxy.
Yep,
Yo,
Yeah.
he had quite a few lines too.
he did.
He was good.
He was great.
fine. There's nothing wrong.
I'm
Yeah.
not mad about
A little
Vin-
bit part for
about-
him. Throw that at him.
Yeah. He was in what, Guardians 2?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yep.
his character, well, I can't remember his
He
name.
was
and
the
he's not in
original.
here.
He was
I mean,
a
he's
part
in
of
here,
the
but he's
original Guardians.
Yeah, right, exactly. He he has like a name and I can't
It was
remember
a
what
um.
I'm
It
looking
was
through.
a after credit scene in Guardians 2.
Well, he was also in
He was
Guardians
in
2.
Guardians
He-
2. I think
no,
he was in.
no, I know he was in Guardians 2, but what I'm saying is
they
when
said
they
his name.
when they did the original Guardians, they showed it
yes, when he's
in the
standing
after
there with
credit scene.
Michael Rosenbaum is one of those guys too. He's the guy that played Lex Luthor on Smallville. He's the crystal dude. And
Yep.
Miley Cyrus was one of the voices.
What?
She was one of the voices of like one of the creatures. in
Stacker Ogard.
Stacker Ogre.
STA.
Taser
Stakar.
face.
No, Stakar.
Stakar.
Is how I said it, yeah. Taser face.
Taser face.
You woke up in the morning and you looked at the face. You thought, you know, it would be like, I can't say that word here. Name? Taser face. And I love all the other Ravagers like they
Yep.
start to laugh.
Can't
like
even
they don't-
handle it.
I
Can't even handle it.
Taser face.
Taser face.
And then the end when he's like,
Remember the name?
and the sovereign lady's like, and laughs at him while he dies. Oh man,
How about the nowhere just coming out, just freaking
As a
laser
cannon.
cannon?
Freaking
In the eye?
ridiculous. Yeah.
They're like, that was our
freaking
one
love
missile.
that.
I was like, that's
They had
totally a
one
nowhere
missile.
move.
And then
They're just like, we're just gonna boom. They're like, that's all we got.
the better part was that
Aye.
it was a cannon that expanded 4 times. They're like, cannon 1,
2, 3,
2,
barrel 1.
barrel 3.
all right, this is part of the review. Let's
All
finish
right,
out
all right,
source.
yeah.
So we got some source stuff to talk about. So,
Sure.
Whatever.
So this is what we do. All right. So source material on this movie, it was better than the other two Guardians, but James Gunn took like 3 main storylines and he kind of like meshed them together.
Yeah.
You think it was
and
better?
made his own.
You think it was
I
better
think
than
was
Ego?
Closer. Yeah, Ego
I think so.
wasn't Peter's father in the comics.
Yeah.
I know, but he still had the power.
Yeah, but I don't think he was a Celestial in the comics.
No.
No,
think
but
he
I
was
think
his
he
own
still had the
planet.
power.
Yeah, but he didn't go around and plant himself on other planets. Like everything
Well,
about
yeah.
Ego was
There was a lot
he was a
wrong
giant
about
planet.
Ego.
Right.
A
But
lot
yeah.
wrong about
Yeah, we got
Ego.
Kurt Russell.
we did.
Don't mind Kurt Russell.
He was a
Dunn
wonderful
didn't-
planet.
Yeah, he was a good Ego, but I just
Nah, it
there
wasn't-
was a lot wrong about
it was a
that.
great movie. Like
Well, you said-
I love
yeah,
Guardians
okay.
too.
But it's the
But
one
it was the most inaccurate, I think, of the 3
oh,
Guardians
and it's the
movies.
worst
Sure.
of the 3.
Uh, That's an opinion piece. We don't need to talk about that though because we're talking about Guardians 3.
Sure.
I think it's the best of the 3. But
What?
Do you think it's the best of the 3?
I do.
Guardians 2?
I do.
Guardian.
We can talk about that off the air because that would take a whole episode in its own thing. But I do. It's my favorite.
Lord.
It's my favorite of the 3. All right.
That makes a lot of sense for this guy. Sweet Lord.
Wild card. All right. So
You are not the wild card.
No.
Stay in your lane, Greg.
Stay in your lane. Do your job. Do your job.
Yeah, the research. All right, so there are 3 main storylines that this movie kind of pulls from. It pulls from Rocket's origins.
Yeah.
It does change it. So in the movie, the High Evolutionary is the one who altered Rocket
Yep.
and Lila and his other Teefs and Floor, who we'll get to them in a minute. They were endearing, but
they were very endearing.
And they
honestly, they did what they're supposed to do.
Jamie,
Make you cry from the story and
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
visions
Yeah.
and their
Yeah.
looks.
Yeah.
Jamie and I were talking about this was one of the instances where I think they really made you emotionally attached to characters very quickly.
Yes,
To
they
the point,
did.
To the point where when Lila died, it was hurtful. Like it
Yeah.
hurt. And
Stop
we
it. Stop
just
it.
met her.
Yeah. Do the research.
Well, that's
He
part of
yells
it.
at us.
That's part of it. That's part of it because the origin of Rocket, part of what he comes from is Lila's death.
Yeah.
So Lila's death was huge in the comics, and it really kind of set the trajectory of Rocket.
Sure.
They did not come from the High Evolutionary, though. They're half-worlders. He was genetically modified by robots to become actually a park ranger. And then he eventually leaves. Lila is the inheritor of one of the greatest toy-making planets in the galaxy. So I'm kind of glad they went away from those things because they just don't fit the mood.
No, 100%.
They just didn't fit.
This actually,
was
I
better
like this story a lot better.
For this.
Yes, for this.
From when we go to Rocket from like the 1960s and 70s, like that fit. That was fine. Like it was what it was.
Yeah.
But I think James Gunn did a good job of manipulating that into something for this world.
It was very smart.
So that's the one storyline. Second storyline is the idea of the High Evolutionary. High Evolutionary,
yes.
Very, very comic accurate. His looks were a little different. He did end up in the more kind of robotic suit at the end, which looks more like what he does in the comics.
Yeah.
Right. Though he's red skinned, he's like in the comics. He does come from Earth in the comics. And they kind of allude to that where he says Earth is his favorite place for history in the movie.
Yeah,
and he took a lot from Earth.
Exactly. I mean, everything he's trying to do is make
another
a better Earth.
Right. Counter Earth is also from the comics. The Animen, which they actually mention by name in the movie, is from the comics. Those are the animal people that he first made on Counter Earth. So they're from the comics. He also was the person in the comics who deemed Adam, or in the comics he's called him. He deemed him the Warlock. So he does also say that in here.
Yep.
He's the reason that Adam was woken up from the cocoon.
Yep.
In the comics,
Too early they allude.
Right.
Yep.
In the comics, Adam is made by people on Earth and put in a cocoon.
Right. Yep.
But the High Evolutionary does wake Adam up in the comics. So
a lot of comic accuracy
his
around
powers
him.
Also, he's got he can levitate. He's got like some telekinesis stuff.
Didn't see much of those pieces though.
But he did move stuff like around in the ship, and he could.
It wasn't telekinesis.
He was less violent.
Though. He referred to it that even gravity bends to his will.
Like,
it wasn't telekinesis.
It was a little different, but it looked very similar in like what he could do.
In terms of the actual functioning of it, but it's not telekinesis.
And his super strength.
Yep.
So one thing, and again, this is towards the end of the movie or at the end of the movie, but people are wondering, is he actually dead? One of his powers in the comics is fast healing, even faster than Wolverine's.
Mm-hmm.
And so we never actually saw him die. So maybe he survived it. I wouldn't mind him coming back. He was a freaking sick villain. He could come back as something cool.
Well,
but
we'll talk about that.
I just feel like if they got rid of like people like MODOK and things like that, like,
right? Don't bring this guy back.
It's not like don't bring him back. It's just like they're just burning through like higher B-rated villains now.
I wasn't
lower A's even.
I will just a little bit of a
lower
piece.
A.
I didn't think he was that great. Oh, and I'm just going to say that.
I'm
going to put that out there
Shots
now.
Fired.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we got those two, and then the last one you brought up, Harry. The last we were talking about it after the movie or before we came up here today. What was that last piece with Rocket? The last like big comic connection. You remember? With the team.
Putting him on the spot.
Oh, him. Okay, I got what you're saying.
No, he knows.
Oh, him becoming captain. You're saying him taking over.
Rocket.
Yeah, because like I was talking to TJ and he was kind of filling me in because he's a pretty big Guardians guy / Gauntlet guy. But he was saying that like at one point in one of the comic runs or one of the main ones that Peter goes. He becomes a drunk and he goes looking for Gamora by himself, and then Rocket Raccoon takes over as the leader, and it kind of affiliates more people with the Guardians. So
yeah, and it's cool. It was cool to see Rocket take over because they kind of jockeyed in both the first two movies about who would be leader, and he's got it. I mean, Rocket has the familial protective nature and the strength to be a leader. He just needed to get through some emotional stuff, and he did in this movie, and it was really good for that. So that was cool to see that at the end. The last little bit of a connection to comics, in the last end credit scene when we see the new Guardians, there's a little girl there who's from the High Evolutionary.
The saved group, the saved group.
Yeah. And he calls her Phyla.
Yeah.
And you see it in the credits, too. In the credits, they roll by, her name is listed as Phyla. So there's a comic character called Phyla Vel, who's actually a descendant of Marvel, the original Captain Marvel.
Oh.
And so it would be kind of cool to see her become a Guardian. And I mean, the Guardians roster is always rotating in the comics. There's always new people coming in and out.
Yep.
So I think that would be a sick team to see a new movie about with Colossal Groot, with Kraglin now being able to control the arrow, Rocket stepping into leadership.
That's
Phyla
a boss
Vel,
group. That's a
and
pretty
Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock takes it from like a good group to like a super OP group,
a freaking incredible group. So like, yeah, there's a lot of
sorry.
No, you're fine. There's a lot of comic connection here in this movie. What were you going to say?
It was a cool fact I looked up when I was dwindling to sleep last night watching another show that we're going to be talking about eventually. That Rocky Raccoon. Which was his like one of his first appearance names is like Rocky Raccoon. It was actually a Beatles song.
The Beatles song, Rocky Raccoon.
And it's about the co-creators of Rocket and like him being in the preview of Marvel #7 and like the one Hulk and then the She-Hulks in that 3 issue in the 80s or whatever. And then eventually he got his debut in 5 or 4 whatever it was, 4 comics. But it's about like a boy with a cowboy mentality that's searching for like the people that killed his girlfriend and all this other stuff. And
he fights in bar fights and stuff.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what album it's on, but
I don't remember. It's actually, I should know. It's my wife's like favorite Beatles, one of her favorite Beatles songs.
Oh, really?
But yeah, she loves that song. And
I was like, I didn't know
she knew
that.
the song
It's
before
really
she knew
interesting.
Guardians, and she was like, "Oh, Rocky Raccoon, that sounds like the Beatles song." I'm like, "Oh my word, you don't know how much you actually know."
Wow, look at you.
Cool. Yeah, look at you. How'd you do? Wow. And she loves Guardians now. So, and Rocket is just such a great character.
I don't know. I've never met anyone that's like, yeah, Guardians is okay.
Yeah, it's just
Guardians as a trilogy is very, very solid.
We'll talk about that in the review whether or not
very solid.
Where does it rank in the Marvel trilogies?
Right.
So
It's
we'll
a good
talk
question.
about that. But
It's a
anyway,
good question.
So yeah, I mean, James Gunn took a whole bunch of really comic accurate stuff, and he molded it into an original story though, because the High Evolutionary has never fought the Guardians in the comics.
Yep.
He also has nothing to do with Rocket's development or Lila's development.
Right.
This is an interesting combination.
It is because
storylines.
He was smart. He was smart, and he put it. And we know James Gunn is a great storyteller, and he did a really good job meshing this into a really good story.
Yeah, Gunn really.
Are we on the review now?
Should we jump into it? Like you went with your first?
No, I was just saying he just reminds me of like how original like Feige was.
Yes, agreed.
How he like took as much comic accuracy as he could to make it still then a new thing and a new embodiment.
I am gonna give a hot take on that.
Yeah.
Now that we're gonna go into the review.
Comic review.
Pew pew.
Here's my hot take.
Hot take.
After watching this movie, feel much more confident in James Gunn leading
Taking over
up
DC.
the DC universe.
Dude,
and the reason
he's an architect.
But it's not just that.
Yeah.
The reason is I believe personally that this is probably the darkest Marvel film yet.
Agreed. Dude, there's some
I sat driving by myself from the movie theater.
Your own volition.
Because I watched the movie by myself.
He had a ticket.
I had a ticket.
Somewhere else.
I had to go to my
some that you would call family.
I had to go to my child's karate graduation.
Also family.
His fake family.
So
as we sit in his basement with his family above us.
Yes. My hot take is that I actually feel so much more confident.
Yeah.
Good.
Because I tried thinking of like what is a darker Marvel film.
Right.
Sure.
I felt
Winter Soldier was probably the closest.
I don't believe so because I actually felt physically uncomfortable by some of the scenes in this movie.
Right. No, I'm saying Winter Soldier was probably the closest before this one.
Closest.
Like it was the most like realistic.
You don't think Multiverse of Madness?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
No, a lot of people do.
It was a little too cartoony, I think.
I don't think anything that Marvel's ever put out was anywhere near as dark as this.
It was dark.
But I don't even think this was that dark, but
Multiverse of Madness was dark.
This was darker.
But this was darker.
It was gross. It was gross.
I honestly feel like the whole narrative, I love that they leaned into Rocket.
Yeah.
First off.
Oh my
that
word.
storyline and him not ever sharing about it and their visceral reaction to learning about what happened to him was phenomenal.
And the
it
flashbacks
really
were gross,
solidified
man.
It solidified and showed their care for each other as a family.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
That was really so important.
Groot.
And it also then sets up in a way for them without them all just dying.
Right.
To move on.
Right.
In a good way.
Well,
so, but just my thing with is James Gunn, I feel it much more comfortable because Harry and I have said this before. DC is much darker.
Yes.
You have to be able
to
do the dark. And you have to be willing to go to some uncomfortable, difficult places to be able to do DC right. And I think he can do it.
But you need to be able to go there.
Yep.
But you can't compromise story.
Sure.
There's a way you can go.
You can't just be gruesome for no reason.
Exactly.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
And he showed the multifacet here.
Right.
Where he can go dark but still keep a story where we're invested.
The problem is with what he's lining up to do.
Sure.
It's just there's not much stuff that I can be like, oh, like he's gonna go dark with this one. You know what I mean? There's a few things maybe.
Well, but really, he's only doing Superman.
I don't know, but to this point, let's be honest.
He's over.
He's overseeing.
Let's be honest.
His
Guardians,
origins in horror. His origin is horror.
Yeah.
Guardians had been pretty jokey.
Yeah, they stepped
away. They are much more. They had been to this point a bit more on the light, bubbly, fun.
They're the ones that brought in the full-on
quirky.
Comedy show for Marvel.
Right, to start.
Yeah,
and
they were the head. Yeah.
And did you feel like this was very comedy?
No. Well,
didn't.
He said in an interview before, he said that this movie would murder the genre.
Yeah.
It would rip out the comedy in Guardians' life.
Like,
and it did.
The storyline with he did a really good job. Guardians is a big group. He did a really good job of highlighting all of their struggles. At the same time, it was phenomenal to see Quill struggling with the loss of Gamora and then Gamora still being here. I think one of the best scenes, one of the best back and forths was them in the elevator and him having to describe to that random random girl, him being like, did your boyfriend die and then come back to life?
Right.
Really mean? And then that's not the way he said it, but that's the way I'm going to say it on our podcast.
He's like, so pretty much what happened was.
He and then Nebula being like, there were some pieces left out, but that was pretty much a summation of what happened.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite parts of the movie was the fact that Gamora did not fall back in love with Peter.
Right.
I was afraid that was going to...
But she did sympathize with him.
And she could see. She could see.
I think she understood.
Sure. So one thing he says to Gamora in the movie, while he's trying to... Because at the beginning of the movie, he still obviously hadn't let her go. And he even spoke... He even spoke like she... Like, you just don't remember. Like, it's like, no, this is a
that she's still in, she's in there.
Like,
it's try and bring she can't be in there if she's never done it before.
Right. And so... He makes one statement to her during the movie of that he believes she's the same Gamora in that she's looking for the same things. And he's right. But in this Gamora found family in the Ravengers.
Right.
Yeah.
Not with them. And so what I was afraid of was like that they were going to cheapen his loss.
Yeah.
And make her like, oh, I'll just stay with the Guardians.
Right.
No. She chose to stay with the Ravengers. She left the Guardians. She didn't fall back in love with him. And he had to actually process. So our Gamora is dead. She never came back.
Yep.
And Peter had to deal with that.
Right.
And we saw him go through it.
That's like worse.
It was so exactly right because he has to see her.
Like you said, it is worse.
And but it was so good because he didn't pull that punch.
Do you know the other side of that? The other side of that was, and there's a part of me that wanted it to happen, but I'm glad it didn't in the end.
Sure.
Was him getting with Nebula.
Yeah.
There was a part of me
that
sure. at one
Nebula's
point.
Great.
Because, and it actually wasn't for Quill. I actually wanted it for her.
For Nebula, yeah.
And the reason I wanted it for her was because she has never really experienced the love.
Right.
But I liked at the end that she is finding that with the community, with the people.
Right. Of nowhere.
Of nowhere. And not just with him.
Right.
Yes.
And so my hope is maybe down the road that storyline can maybe develop.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't.
Right.
But I'm actually very happy.
Or with Drax and Gamora or something, which I don't think will happen.
I don't think it will
Drax and Nebula, you mean?
Drax
yeah.
I don't think it will with Drax
no,
and
probably
Nebula.
not.
But I did like that whole her growing to understand Drax.
Yes.
Right.
And I loved that line at the end.
Yeah.
You didn't ask
You're not Drax the Destroyer. You're
Drax.
Drax the Dad.
Drax the Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Drax the
Such a
Dad.
good, such a good line.
well, and that's
such a good line.
You're right in the feels.
so. Here's the thing,
Yeah.
and let's talk about this first. We'll end with our favorite part and our least favorite part, like we normally do.
Yep.
And then we'll do our verdict of like our overall. But let's start with the idea that no one died. Like none of the main Guardians died.
We went into
right.
this
We went
going,
into it
someone has to
expecting
die.
Who's gonna die?
Expecting them all to
Who's
die.
gonna die? So I want to.
Yeah.
So I want to hear, and we'll react back. I want to hear your take on no one dying of the main cast, and I want to hear
you're not gonna
Harry's
like
take
it.
on no one dying, and then I want to because I've been thinking about this because I knew you'd be angry.
I'm not really happy
I
about
knew you
it.
would be, but I've got an idea of why I'm okay with it, and I want to hear you guys out first, and then I want to hear what you guys think about why I'm okay with it. But I want to hear what do you think, Logan? I know you're not super happy about it. What do you
Here's
think?
the thing. We will continue to make excuses and make stuff up about why it's okay
Sure.
that Marvel isn't killing anybody. And
Okay,
the reality is every movie that goes by makes it more of a joke
Yeah.
that they don't kill anyone.
Yeah,
I legitimately, it is embarrassing for Marvel at this point for the amount of movies that they have made and the literal fewest people of their casts
Right.
that have died.
Probably on
It's-
our hands.
It's,
Probably on,
it's
like,
a
one hand.
single
Tony.
digits on a hand killing.
Tony's dead.
Let's see, Tony, Gamora. Well, can we count Gamora? Because she is. I think they.
No, you can't. They brought her back in a way.
No,
You
but
can't. You can't.
It's a
but
character, so
I would-
It's a
I don't think you
character.
can say.
I guess so. I would say our Gamora is dead, but then there's another Gamora. So Tony, Black Widow, Yondu.
Maybe he's like a C-rated.
Nah, he's big. He's
You've
important.
got. Oh my God.
he was a
Heimdall.
feel. He was a feel that he died.
Heimdall.
Sure, I'm not discrediting
Heimdall-
his death. I'm just
Heimdall.
saying in retrospect, you're killing.
Yeah.
So you have two like
Heimdall and Yondu are based
B-rated
are like,
characters.
They're side
Yes.
characters, but
Yeah.
still. So they're dead. Who else?
I mean, Odin's
Uh,
technically dead.
Wanda. I mean, at this point,
Wanda's not dead.
At this
There's no
point,
shot she's
well,
dead.
no, she actually just came out. I think Elizabeth Olsen just came out in an interview saying that she has she hasn't had any communication with
We've heard
Marvel.
that before.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
we've heard that before.
Probably about
but-
1,000 times.
Okay,
but we
let's-
can only
let's-
we can only talk about what we
I
know.
would
So those five.
I would allow him to put Wanda on that hand because
we don't know.
we believe right now that
Do
she
we
is
count
dead.
Odin
those-
and Fira or whatever her name is?
Hela.
No.
Oh no! Oh, you're talking about his wife.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, Thor's mom.
Thor's
Yeah.
mom.
So
Is it Freya?
Freya? That's it. You got
That's
it.
Freya. Way to go,
Seven.
Harry. Way to
That's
go.
Pull 'em
seven
out.
if you count those. So it's very few.
That's like
I mean,
3 from one movie.
So very few.
That they have
very
made.
few.
They have how many movies have they made
Sure.
at this
Like
point? Like
25, 30.
Carter's dead.
yeah,
Oh yeah, Sharon Carter's dead.
But she didn't die
Died
of
from old
like,
age.
yeah,
she
doesn't
died of
count.
old
She didn't
age.
die.
Yeah, she died from old age.
So
She aged out.
it is embarrassing. The
Sure.
few
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
that have died.
There's only one true character that really died, Tony.
Tony. Well, and Black Widow.
and Black Widow.
Those are two.
No. Black Widow.
Yeah, I guess so.
count. You count.
She's
Black
an
Widow.
Avenger.
You got to count
She's
her
an Avenger.
because she's a
So,
first generation.
I
and
mean,
she got-
come
But,
on.
I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
sure.
props to Tony, though, for dying.
Yes.
Like, that is a big movie.
Yep.
knock on wood.
But I'm
There's
just
rumors
saying,
that he's coming back in Armor Wars, but
Oh my gosh.
well,
so bad.
so
it
the
would
only-
be so embarrassing.
only-
I'm done with Marvel. if that's-
Literally.
he would. The only way that people have said that he would come back
If it's
is
like
that
hologram.
if he's because in the comics he uploaded his consciousness into an AI, and
Sure.
he was a hologram AI
Yeah.
in bits. That
Yeah.
would be the only okay way to bring him back.
So
it
let
would
me
still be kind of lame.
let me explain this.
Go ahead,
though.
keep going though.
Okay. Do I like this movie, and I actually like how they handled it.
Yeah,
But it's embarrassing that every movie
we're still doing
we're
this.
still doing this.
Right,
Like they don't kill. Do I think they should have killed somebody in this movie?
right.
Probably. Someone should have died.
Who do you think should have?
I do you want Rocket could have gone. Now, hear me out. Hear
Yeah,
me out.
Sure. Okay.
When Rocket struggled and and was with Lila and wheels and floor. It wasn't wheels.
Teeth.
Wheels.
Still floor though.
Still floor.
Still floor.
Teeth and floor.
Everyone in the movie theater when she said that, we're all just like, oh gosh.
Well,
so teeth and floor.
She was kind of,
She was, yeah.
She
wasn't all there.
So teeth and floor. He could have died in that moment, and they could have ended in a different way.
Are you talking about when his heart stopped and he saw her in the vision and she said, "You have more to do"?
Yeah.
Sure, you could have. Yeah.
Nobody believed that would have happened that way at all.
Every time someone was about to die, everyone was like, "They're not
gonna happen." And honestly, I'm okay. I'm actually okay with him not.
Actually, do you know who could have? Actually, let me pull that back.
Yeah, who
do you know who could have died? Gamora could have died. Gamora could have died. She's dead.
Yeah,
she could have died.
But that would have been the worst.
Dead.
But that'd be a pointless death. I feel like that'd just been like,
But
it would have been something.
Sacrificial lamb.
It would have been something.
But I'm saying like I have people that I know should have died and it should have been dead. Like,
all right, go ahead then.
Yeah, are you done though?
Well, finish your point.
My final point on it,
right,
and then ending is, I like this movie.
Yeah.
The problem is the buildup is that somebody, like every movie where like somebody needs to die.
Every movie seems to point to death.
And so somebody should have died way before this in other movies.
Sure.
So that we're not feeling like in every movie somebody needs to die.
Agreed.
And so this is a good movie.
We need a movie where there's plenty of death.
I'm happy with this, but then but the problem is they've led to this buildup and it's been built up so long. So many people need to die that like every movie we're like, kill somebody, please.
Would you agree with this? This is kind of how, and I'll build out more of it when on my part, but like, I feel like if somebody died in Ant-Man, like we talked about, like so many people like should have died in Ant-Man. If somebody died in Ant-Man,
I wouldn't have much of a problem.
I feel like I would have been like, I would have been not happy with it, but like, I would have been like, okay, they're dead. Like, it creates the stake that we want.
I literally don't care who it is. Just kill someone.
Right. Well, but
we're all Drax at this point. We need to kill someone.
Yeah.
The connection here, though,
someone that nobody loves.
No, it's just sad.
Sad.
Honestly, I wonder if they're putting that line in there.
Yeah, to build
like
up to
to
it.
Point at the fact that they're doing this.
What I'm saying is, I think we would have all been okay with anybody in Ant-Man dying.
Sure,
but if we actually
all of them,
if we actually look in our hearts, like
in my heart of hearts,
heart of the cards,
heart of the
blue
cards.
eyes, white dragon. I don't think we wanted any of the Guardians to die. I think we wanted them to die because we want Marvel to just like make it happen and show us some stakes. But if we had to choose, I think we wanted Guardians to kind of live. Like that team. We liked the team.
Sure.
Whereas in Ant-Man, I think we would have rather had him die.
I agree with that statement. Yes. But I'm gonna just stick with that.
Because what you're saying, the reason why we're so adamant like somebody should have died in this movie is because we've been waiting for someone to die since the start of Phase 4.
It's literally
like Tony died at the end.
It is so embarrassing at this point.
Yeah.
It is so like, do you ever go into any Marvel movie concerned that anyone will die?
Not at this point.
Like, there is no threat.
Yeah.
There's no threat.
Yeah.
There's no threat. Think about that.
Yeah. At this point,
every Marvel movie you go into, that hero is fine.
Well, and the worst part is that when Endgame ended, we were like, oh crap.
Yep.
They killed Tony.
Yep.
Nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe.
And then Phase 4 started, and we made it a whole phase with nobody.
Everyone is safe.
And they've come up against threat levels that should have taken somebody.
Should have, definitely.
All right. What do you think, Eric?
Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously my initial response was I was upset that no one died. Because you can ask Victoria, I literally said, someone has to die today. And we're driving in the truck down 276. I'm like, someone's got to die. I said, these are the people that need to die. These are the people that could die. But someone definitely needs to die.
It's got to happen.
No one died.
No one died.
So, but she immediately looked at me afterwards. She's like, that wasn't that bad. I was like, she's like, it was nice how they did it. I was like, I agree. It was nice, but like, okay, so for the person that needs to die, Drax needed to die.
Yep.
But Dave Bautista said he's done doing all the cardio in the world.
Fair.
He said he doesn't really care to do more.
They let him wear a shirt,
though. I know. But like, he's like, I'm okay to do it, but he's like, nobody's really talked to me, which doesn't mean anything. But also, he's just like, I'm okay with not getting called back in. Okay, so Dave Bautista, Drax needs to die.
That's the one.
And
yeah,
perfect
you're right.
timing. When he got shot up in the
Sure. There's plenty of
there are plenty of
times
places
that he
he
could have
could've died.
died. Instead of
Yeah,
having,
see.
you know, Mantis control those big things.
Right, they could have eaten him.
He could have like killed like 2 of them or whatever and died from the wounds. Whatever.
Sure.
Mantis could have died.
Yep.
But like, I don't care if she lives or dies, because even if she lives, like, she's going off on her own now.
Right.
If they do like a Mantis series or whatever they're doing with
Not
her,
interested in that.
I mean, it's just gonna be like, okay,
I think she's great with other people.
sure,
Oh yeah.
By herself,
Sure.
She's gotta
I
play
wouldn't-
off
she's great
other
with
people.
Drax, so
Yeah.
kill her with Drax. Okay.
Yeah. Holiday Special was great because of their chemistry.
I mean, I love Star-Lord. I love Peter Quill.
Man, he
Uh,
so good.
but like, he could have died.
Could have.
I'm not like super upset he didn't die. It's gonna be interesting what he does later.
They're
I don't
bringing
know.
him back.
Yeah, it said
He's
Star
going to
Wars
do
return.
more.
Well, but I would venture to guess that he's probably just going to come back for like Secret Wars.
Sure. I don't disagree.
Earth-based
He'll have
things.
his own
He's just gonna
movie.
show up for stuff. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't disagree.
I don't
but
think
I'm
he'll
just
have his own
saying
full
he's
movie
not-
anymore.
Chris Pratt's not done.
No.
Yeah.
But we still want him as Booster Gold.
Yeah. I'm fine with
Sure do.
I'm fine with Nebula surviving.
Surviving,
You
yeah.
know what?
Yeah.
She's already had enough pain in her life.
But she could have died when
Let her
she like
suffer
She could have died.
when she attached to the ship.
Sure.
I wouldn't have minded her going down.
There is
That was
a
a good-
point.
that was a good
There's a
moment
point
for her
in
to
every
die.
single part of this movie
Yeah, where they
that
could've
they
died.
could have killed the person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They could have
100%.
killed Rocket. They could have killed whoever.
Yeah.
But the problem with killing Rocket, with like the way that he was, you know, incapacitated for whatever half of
The
the
whole movie.
Like
Uh,
75%.
Yeah. If he
Great
died there, that would have kind of made the movie almost like a wash, or just kind of like lukewarm.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, okay, then the team's just gonna be mad and they're gonna avenge him, and like
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Right.
you're
You know what I
not
mean?
wrong about it. It wouldn't be as compelling of a storyline.
It's like,
You're
okay,
right.
so the High Evolutionary took down the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Would have
That
been all
didn't-
right.
That didn't need to happen.
No. So Rocket dying with like Groot or something like that. And this
Sure.
is what I compared it to at the end of the night when I was talking to Vic.
Groot was never going to die.
No, he can't die.
No, he's just ahead.
Yeah.
And if he dies, he just plants a seed and a new one grows.
Yep.
Sure. So I was saying that like I compared this to kind of what needed to happen was death, but not in a bad way. So that's why I'm not as upset. So like in Star Wars, they killed, spoilers, if these
You don't know by
stupid
this
movies
point,
that
move
should
along.
not be
Star Wars.
If
named.
you don't know, move along.
But the last 3 movies that are not even Star Wars movies are just films that have things that look like Star Wars in it.
Kind of.
When Han Solo got stabbed by Kylo Ren,
Yeah.
that was a garbage way of killing him.
True.
Garbage way. That man needed to die in the Millennium Falcon with Chewbacca next to him.
Agreed.
Flying into something to take down Starkiller Base or something.
Yeah,
Something.
Something heroic.
Give the man a valiant death. What'd they do? They had his son stab him. Was it sacrificial? Was it a nice little moment? Sure. Understand. But was it the way that he needed to go? No. Not at all. So now Chewie's still alive, running around the galaxy with Rey in the ship that's her
He blew up in that shuttle.
in-laws.
Didn't he blow up in that shuttle? I stopped watching after that.
Yeah, after Chewie died. But well, in the movie theater when that happened, I'm like, he's not dead.
No, he's not dead.
Chewbacca's not dead.
No, he wasn't going to go that way.
Honestly, I was like, wow, did they actually kill him? That's pretty good. And then
No.
like, 30 seconds later, it's like, there's Chewbacca. I'm like,
No.
well, that's the dumbest thing in the world. Go
So
on.
all I have to say, there was definitely
No emotional toll whatsoever.
No, he's not dead.
It was emotional for 15 seconds.
Yeah,
And then they
yeah.
cut to, there's
You're
a
like-
second shuttle.
I don't even know if I got my whole statement out of like, holy crap, Chewie's right there.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right there.
So that being said, there's plenty of reasons or places for them to die, and I think it would have been completely okay. I think everyone would have been okay at this point. Maybe little kids wouldn't have been because they're like, oh no, but like
Don't take your kids
little
to this,
kids
man. It was
shouldn't be
pretty
going to
gross.
that movie.
It was
No.
gross.
Yeah.
No.
Some
So-
nightmare fuel in there.
Floor is the creepiest thing ever.
Yeah.
Nah, man, those
Floor makes you feel
because you love
Uneasy.
uneasy.
Well, it's 'cause you-
Thank you, Harry.
because
That
you
is
love
the
it.
word.
It's because you love her,
Oh,
but then you hate her. But
every
then you're
time.
grossed out by her, and then you're like, "Is that like blood around the mask?" And you're like, "That's just a creepy."
It's terrible.
It's like Sid from Toy Story
Yeah.
Yeah.
in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
So-
super gross.
Is Sid just the
The
high
high
evolutionary?
100%,
Might have
all makes sense now.
evolved.
probably.
Can I give you my high evolutionary take?
No, I haven't gone yet.
Oh, you're going.
I didn't really finish.
He didn't finish.
Oh, my bad.
You're like, I don't really care about your guys'
All right,
opinions.
you guys are,
No,
you
but
guys are talking
so all I
long
have to
enough. My
say,
turn.
there are plenty of
I'm going again.
I'm gonna go.
My turn.
There are plenty of spaces where people could have died, and I think
Yeah,
it
I
would have been
agree.
completely appropriate.
And yeah, it would've
But
worked.
there needed to be, like, at the very least, I think Drax needed to die.
Yes.
Drax
Because
was
what
the
is his
one.
purpose now? To be a dad. That could have been said, him protecting the kids, and like
He could've
he's
died-
dying
he
in
could've died protecting the
Nebula's
kids.
hands, and
Yeah.
she's saying,
That
You're
was the
not
move.
you're not the Drax the destroyer, Drax the dad, and like he's like
These-
and
these-
dies.
Yeah.
These kids live because of you.
Right. He's like holding the
Yes,
ship together or
yes.
something,
Yeah.
Oh,
Cosmos
yeah.
can't hold it anymore, and he's just like,
How much did your heart ache when Cosmos like starts to struggle and Mantis goes down and like holds her and is like,
You're strong.
You're strong, and it, like she got like the strength to get it, held the thing. Man, so
They had a-
No,
they
I
had a
just
lot
I
of
thought of that
touching-
moment. I was just
a
like,
lot
man,
of
I was like,
touching
Mantis
moments.
could really do some damage with this
Yo,
stuff. You're just
yo,
like, I'm gonna
Mantis?
manipulate you to do things.
Oh my word,
Yo.
Mantis!
well, that's the beauty of it, though.
you're hopelessly in love with him.
I love that. I love
Drax.
that. He's like,
He's
hey,
like every time.
Every
he
time.
goes, what's your name?
See, it's like
Drax.
so. The Christmas
I'll
special
be,
was
I'll be
good.
waiting here for you.
The Christmas special was good, and I love how they referred to that in the stinger on the newspaper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Kevin
But,
Bacon
yeah.
tells all
Yeah.
about being abducted.
So like that was good, but like them in this movie was even better.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if they did something like that, but they're not going to, because
Well,
Yeah.
as
but-
far as we know,
But and that's why I think the Christmas special was even better than we thought it was.
Yeah.
Because this movie, their rapport wouldn't have been as good if we didn't get that foundation from the Christmas special. It was such a wonderful.
I feel like they already had
transition.
rapport though from Guardians
It was even
2.
better.
It builds.
It's even
It's the
better.
build.
Yeah.
It's
Whatever.
the build.
Yeah, I would love a buddy cop movie with those two.
Yeah,
I
they
just
could
want
do
to
it.
see more
They could
of
carry
them.
it.
Yeah.
They
They're
could
so
carry
great.
it. Yeah.
But you're
So yeah, all I had to say, I wasn't necessarily happy, but I'm glad that if they weren't gonna kill people, that they did it in the way that they did. The way
Yeah.
they broke
Yeah.
up the group.
The way they did
Yeah.
it was good.
If they did
Yeah.
like the Guardians are still out there, dee-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, they started playing like, you know,
right. More adventures.
Fox on the run by Sweet, and like they're just like
Yeah.
and they're just flying off. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is stupid.
Yeah.
Punch it.
Yeah,
And then Peter and Gamora kiss, and it's like, yay.
garbage.
They didn't do that though. They did a good job.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So yeah.
It's
so
like, tell me your words so I can get to mine.
hurry up. You got
Hurry up.
30 seconds.
What are your thoughts?
So yeah. So
All right, that's enough. Thank you. Hi, evolutionary.
Oh.
so I agree. I agree that they.
By the way,
they-
he was about to tell me all this in the car. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna save it.
I said, I
It's
wanna-
the first time any of us have been like, you know what? I'm gonna save this content that we have and try to regurgitate it on a podcast.
I was
We
like-
always do better the first time,
Oh, my
and then
word.
we're having what the words that I said before.
Yeah, just a sneak peek of what
were
this looks like
something
before we start recording. It's just all of us doing this.
Gold.
Yeah, this
So
before
stupid.
we show you what this is, and then we're just like, well, what, Logan, you had that thought, and
on and then a rotation of each of us being like, start the episode.
So what
we need to start. Oh wait, did you see that part?
what we're saying is you have to just become friends with us if you want to hear the best.
We're gonna have a live
material.
audience.
We started the
Oh,
Let's start
live
having a
audience.
live
we
audience.
started the podcast because people told us to
Yeah.
stop doing
Yeah,
that.
Right.
because
Honestly,
this just happened for hours.
I was gonna say honestly, the time that because props to my wife for saying you guys need to start a podcast. The reason she did that was because Logan and I sat. Jamie wanted to go home, and we sat till like 1 a.m. talking about comic books. And Jamie's like, "Are we gonna go?" Like it's, and we're like, "Why? It's only like 10 o'clock." It's like, no, it's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my word.
That's that you have one less zero there.
This is to get, so this is to get us away from talking to
Doing
the people in our lives, so we can talk to all of you who are out there in
So-
cyberspace. All right, so
They
so-
didn't die.
they didn't die. I agree that like you're talking about James Gunn being like ready to take on something like this.
Yes.
How do you take this many people and like finish them all in such a wonderful story arc way? Like
Yeah.
he did such a great job.
Yeah,
It
he
was
did.
incredible.
He really did.
And for me, I wanted like of all the teams, you okay?
There's like a weird noise.
That was a weird spinny, like, woo.
I don't know.
Oh, I wonder.
Just
I
keep
wonder if
going.
my phone sound is on and somebody like sent me a text.
Maybe.
It won't pick up.
Just don't worry. Keep going.
Anyway, those are the things I planted in your house.
Yeah.
We're about to end,
Yeah,
end
blow
this
up the
and
house.
start over again. No, it's of all the teams in the MCU,
Yeah.
this is the team where I wanted them to have a happy ending. Like, I desperately wanted them to have a happy ending because of how much pain and loss. We talk about death in the MCU. This team has experienced the most death in the MCU, I would argue. So let me break it down.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
I need a better understanding of that because
Peter.
Thor.
No. I would say.
Go ahead.
So here we go. Peter, mother died.
Yep.
In the first movie. Traumatic start.
Sure.
Second movie, he has to kill his own father, and then he has to watch his actual father die in front of him. All right? So this is just Peter.
That's a fair point.
Okay? This is just Peter. Peter.
That's a really good point.
Gamora dies.
Yeah.
He gets her back, but then has to go through the pain of actually her dying in front of him by not loving him.
Yeah, Quill's
right?
rough.
Quill's rough.
Quill's rough.
Quill's
You're right.
Quill's just the beginning. Drax, daughter and wife are killed in front of him.
Yep.
He becomes something he's not.
Right.
Sure.
To just cope with the pain. In fact, he says that his wife was the one who didn't like to dance. He never said he didn't like to dance. We finally get to see him break out of that and dance and like actually be happy again at the end of this movie. That's Drax. All right. Nebula, tortured by her father, who probably killed her actual parents.
Yep.
Replaced mostly by machine pieces. She doesn't even know what she looks like anymore. She's nothing. And she fought for approval from her father and never got it. Always saw her sister get it. Right?
You're making me feel terrible.
Here we go. Mantis, seared by some crazy planet creature.
Yeah.
Taken away from her home as a larva, raised as a slave to make sure that he got sleep from all the atrocities he did. That was her life.
And then she killed her father.
Right. And then she helped kill her father. Right?
Yep.
Right. That's Mantis. Groot. Groot's the only one who really we don't know about loss, but he's freaking died now
Twice.
Once and like half when he got his head ripped off this time. So he had to die and be reborn again. Right? And then our last one, Rocket.
Jeez.
Rocket, we now get an opening about what he's lost. His entire family that he was born into was murdered in front of him because he wasn't strong enough to save them. Mm-hmm. And then he went on to fear losing family and not get close to anyone until this team. Okay?
Family.
This is a really good point.
So
Greg.
we talk about
this is a really good
Marvel
point.
Doesn't do death. Yes, they didn't kill any main characters in this movie, but they killed off Rocket's entire family in front of us. They also made us love them and then feel that pain in like an hour, and they were ripped from Rocket. And then he did survive, and we get to see him like grow a new family with the Guardians. But so much loss was in this movie. None of them were the main characters, but Gunn did an incredible job of killing the people that mattered to allow us to love and root for a happy ending of the characters he created.
You said two things.
Yeah.
And here is my follow-up question to it.
Go for it.
Well, let me say.
Yeah.
That was an excellent point.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay. Here's my follow-up.
Follow-up.
Do you think Marvel did this?
Or Gunn did it.
Or Gunn did it?
So I would say it's a combination.
Okay.
Marvel allowed Gunn to do it. So in the end, Marvel's been like Kevin Feige. One thing, love him or hate him, Kevin Feige has done a really good job of letting his directors do their stuff.
Yeah,
and make their stuff happen.
Of course, agreed.
That's why Marvel MCU has worked and a lot of the DCU didn't work because they allowed their directors to do their thing. And so I would say maybe Marvel didn't want necessarily say like Gunn, you should do this, but they allowed Gunn to do it. And I would say Gunn is the architect of it, which makes him more lovable in my eyes.
So, do you believe that because Gunn is gone from Marvel, they will have any more loss, struggle like this ever again?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Marvel, so the MCU...
Just look at what's coming up.
Harry's on the out of that. Yeah, Harry's like, no.
Here's what I would say.
Nah, bruh.
Y'all know, if you've listened to us anytime, I'm probably the most optimistic of the three of us, especially when it comes to Marvel.
Yep.
I don't know.
Wow. So that's a no.
Marvel's
that's
question
an
mark
right
for me.
now.
That's
a
no for me, dog.
That's,
I would say
if Greg's on
certified
the fence,
no.
That's a certified no.
So listen. So Kevin Feige has made statements that this phase is going to be a turnaround. Mm-hmm. Okay.
In what way?
In like he's
The turnaround is they need to kill people.
He's
that's the only. If you're
he's
talking
made a
turnaround, kill
statement.
some people.
He's made statements that they kind of misstepped on for, and that.
Well, I know we know that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Is what I'm saying. So there's hope that it could.
Sure.
I'm not optimistic because of what Phase 4 was.
My concern,
but there's hopes they could.
My concern is that he thinks a turnaround is to go back to the old formula, which is like we're all bored of, don't want to do any more of, and that's all happy-go-lucky. And guess what? Kill some people is actually your turnaround. If you want to talk about turnaround, kill.
He allowed Guardians 3 to happen, so I have a little bit of hope. But we're not talking about the future of the MCU. We're talking about Guardians 3. I think I'm okay with them not For me, I'm okay with them not killing any of the main team because they centered this climactic finish of the team around, like, the reason why it ends so well is because there is so much death in their past. And we got to see and experience and walk through it with them.
Yep.
To the degree that I was actually, even though I want Marvel to kill off some people, I was actually rooting for them all to have a happy ending.
Well,
and it felt good that they
now
did.
that you explained it the way that you explained it, I agree. I think Guardians, this set of Guardians needed that happy ending.
They needed that happy ending. Yeah. All right. What are you thinking?
I just don't think High Evolutionary was...
Okay, yeah, you're High Evolutionary.
Yeah.
Well, this is favorite and worst. So is this part of your like stuff you didn't like about it?
Yeah, no, I mean, favorite was the dark tone of this entire movie. That that's my favorite part of this movie is the dark tone and the approach that he took to all of these stories, being able to balance all of the characters so well, being able to allow each of them time and space to breathe and also keep such a dark tone. I mean, like I said, it gives me confidence in James Gunn because you've got to balance in one movie so many different characters and so many different arcs all at the same time, and I believe he can do that really well at DC and finish it well.
He did.
So,
all right,
that's that. High Evolutionary, I don't know if it's necessarily like a bad. He just wasn't that impressive to me. Like the impressive part of High Evolutionary's powers, like what he does was all of his creation, his intellect, and everything along those lines. He himself wasn't that impressive of a character. Like the only time you mean
like physically, like what damage he could do?
Yeah, he's not that impressive of a villain.
I don't think he's supposed to be in that way.
Well, we see it at one point when he's on the bridge and he wipes out the bridge. Just clears it. Because
they won't do what he wants.
Right.
Because they think he's insane.
So what's interesting is like we don't see that at any other point. Like when he's fighting the Guardians,
except when he raises the planet. Like
no, but that's not him. Planet. It's just his science. It's his intellect.
But that's what he is, though.
Creation and development. Yes, I get that.
He's not a bruiser.
He's just
almost
a
like
different
a Mephisto.
type of villain.
Not a Mephisto. Sorry, Mysterio.
Yeah, but
Wait. Is the High Evolutionary Mephisto?
No, that's Kate's mom.
It's Kate's mom. It's still Kate's mom.
That's a throwback.
It's still Kate's mom. She's still out there.
So
she didn't die or anything, or did she die in that show? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
I don't think she did.
Either way,
anyway, go on.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Any bigger or any more powerful or any more like anybody more than what we just saw with a villain would have taken away from the other storylines.
Yeah, are you saying that like that version, like this kind of villain should be a multiple movies like setup villain and not just like a one and done?
No, he should definitely have been a one
and done. Okay.
But I just am not that impressed by him.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
I almost feel like the way that they I don't know. He's a different type of villain.
Yeah,
that's really what it comes down to.
Took a chance.
He was intellect. It was about his creation. It was about his science, and that's where his power really came from. And when they all turned on him, and his like creations turned on him, he lost that power. He 100%. Lost that strength. He lost the ability to do what he needed to do. and I'm good with it. So I don't really have that. Was like that's my
your quote
bad.
unquote bad.
That's my quote unquote bad. I just like wasn't really impressed by the High Evolutionary. That's
I wonder.
really all.
I wonder if he was really just like a canvas for Rocket's story, and just it was more just like how gross he was.
It was more a way to communicate Rocket's story and be able to show that with then the next steps that the like the Guardians, like it gave a backdrop also for the Guardians to be a family.
Right.
You know, he gave that piece to it. Like
some common evil for them to come around.
Exactly.
But
and
not really like the most well developed.
Right. And so that was really all it came down to for me. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think, Harry,
do you
favorite part, worst part, or not favorite part?
What, the High Evolutionary, or are you saying just in general?
Just in general for
Just
the
in
movie.
general.
Just like what would you say before we jump into the verdict? Verdict's gonna be tough on this one.
No, it's not. Not for me.
Okay.
Verdict simple.
Favorite part.
Yeah. So many good
Probably
parts.
in like when the time spent in the ergonomics or whatever that was called.
Inside the
Orgo.
living satellite thing.
Like that whole time frame, I guess, part of the movie was probably my favorite. Because I mean, I love Nathan Fillion. He's funny.
So
He's a good actor.
So
he's kind of like underrated. I know he's doing like a lot with like TV now with the
Was
Rookie
it
or whatever.
And wasn't he in, was it Nip and Tuck or no?
No,
No, he's in
Nick.
Castle.
He was in Castle.
That's the
Castle.
one.
He
Castle.
just keeps getting series that last multiple seasons.
Yeah.
That man,
So he can't do movies.
can't do anything wrong.
Yeah, that was
great.
Yeah, he's just a generally good actor. Like he can kind of do a lot of things, but he's always that charismatic. You know, like he's got the charisma.
Yep.
He does.
Kind of like a Han Solo kind of guy.
Sure,
But
that's a good comparison. I
That's
like
a
it.
really good
I like
comparison.
it.
I like that a lot.
I thought it was a good movie, or whatever. But I know we're not doing verdict, but probably the time spent in there. I liked seeing Peter kind of like, because he's kind of like depressy a lot, obviously. But then
for sure.
he kind of showed his little like quips and his his mouthing off a little bit in there.
He gets a little bit back to normal.
Yeah. And
But he'll never be the same, which is good.
No, he will
which
not.
is good.
No,
Which is good.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't jump right back into the pluck.
Yeah, I really like Peter as a character.
Yeah, agreed.
I really resonate with his character in general because it just reminds me of just being kind of a dumb idiot with a purpose. So and I really resonate with that.
I really identify with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's just he's just always it's just fun.
We don't think you're dumb.
Thanks. That
If
makes
we did,
two
you'd
of
be
us.
Drax.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. Dave,
Which is
No.
not a bad thing either.
No.
least favorite part.
Least favorite part.
Yeah, we think.
That's
tough too.
Just the way I felt looking at some of the
creatures.
creatures.
Yo,
Least favorite part.
I was like,
the pig creature that comes to collect Rocket.
yeah.
They look
What
like
was it? It was called like War Pig or whatever, right?
something like
War
that.
pig,
They look
yeah.
like really messed up versions of Bebop and Rocksteady. Those
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I thought.
Yeah,
I
that's a
thought
good
the
comparison.
same
yeah,
thing.
when they pulled
my
up to the
word.
city, I'm like, Bebop and Rocksteady?
Yeah.
Like, genetically mutated?
Probably worst part. There was a lot of time where they were kind of just like running around, like Drax, Mantis, Nebula. It's not that it wasn't like good content, but it was just a lot of like.
We got to fly to here. We got to drive to there.
It almost felt like an
on
episode of
time.
Mandalorian a little bit.
Yeah.
With them just kind of like, we don't have a plan, but we're gonna plan on the go, and the plan is crappy. It's just run around.
I mean, you did hear that Kevin Feige stepped down and Kathleen Kennedy is taking over
evidently.
the MCU.
Kathy just took over.
Logan's like, what? Dear
I was.
It's
oh,
not
God.
true.
Oh.
Good old KK.
Yeah. There wasn't anything that necessarily stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Well, the
have a
parts
hard
that
time
like
too.
the parts that kind of bothered me were like the parts with Mantis with not her character, but how they chose to use her powers. It's like she like I thought it was awesome that they kind of highlighted her powers when she's like she doesn't need someone to defend her anymore, right? That's what they said.
Right,
I don't need to
right,
protect her
right.
anymore. I can do that myself.
Yeah.
But like there's so many times
And
so
then
like
she walked
she's
away with those giant aliens.
right. Yeah, she
So
she
cool.
needs nothing now.
Yeah.
But the part that killed me was that when they were supposed to protect the ship at the counter Earth, what is it?
Counter-Earth.
Yeah.
Counter-Earth.
At Counter-Earth, she's supposed to her. She,
I was just thinking about that.
what?
You're talking about when Drax takes her away from the ship?
Yeah,
On
she could have
the-
just
on the
gone.
bike.
We're not going anywhere.
But I love the fact.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
when he's like,
Just get on.
Just get on and
We're
we'll
just
go
gonna
back.
go. She's like,
She's
the
like,
ship that's right
We're
there.
going to go to that ship?
Yep.
And he looks around. He's like, yes.
Yeah.
So she gets on and she just
All right. She
drives
could have
away.
but she could have just scooped up his big old dome and been like, "We're not going."
No.
Yeah, but I think deep down she wanted to go help Peter.
Sure.
Well, she also said at
She
the
doesn't like
beginning,
manipulate
you
her
don't
friends.
manipulate your friends.
Right. You don't maybe, yeah.
Even though she literally manipulated her friend, said, "Forget I said that.
Yeah.
But you're
that was-
stupid."
That
But
was
that
for
was-
a different reason.
And that was a really cool.
Come on.
I know.
But that was
I
a
know.
cool look into her mind though, because she's like,
Because of how much she loves him and
because she
cares
wants to
for him.
protect him so much, but
But abuse him.
well, no, but
True.
when he asks her point
All right.
blank,
Next time you guys have emotions about me, I'm just gonna manipulate you.
please do. I hate
I was
these
gonna put you in a
emotions.
chokehold.
I don't think, but we're
forget
not
that.
hiding
Forget it.
anything
Forget
from
it.
each other. Yeah.
Oxygen
Forget
deprivation.
it. Forget it.
Well, if you lose enough oxygen, then you'll forget something.
Well,
You can let me forget a few things.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Wouldn't care.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
there was just a little bit, and like there was some parts that were a little sloppy. But
Yeah.
TJ told me yesterday, he's just like, "Well, I noticed that Nebula's part of her head was like silver the whole movie, and then at the end it was gold."
Really?
He said like, "Yeah, they must have slipped up on that or something."
Because she used to have the gold, like orangey gold.
Yeah, she replaced that a while ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
she-
something. Maybe it was gold the whole time, and they were put it silver. I don't know.
Maybe
he
she
said
changed
something
it when they got back to nowhere.
Yeah.
but it's
She
like,
can.
what?
Interchangeable.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's very interchangeable.
yeah,
Lots of parts. I
And
love
the-
her new arm.
yeah. New arm is pretty
freaking
sweet.
sick.
That is great.
It's good.
That is.
I was thinking,
great.
I was actually, man,
It's like the nanotech kind of stuff.
Yeah.
TJ's getting a lot of shots today. I was talking to TJ about her arm.
Yeah.
And she makes some comment at the beginning of the movie where she's like, she
Oh,
mentions
yes.
that Rocket upgrades her.
Yeah, Rocket upgraded her.
So I wonder.
Yeah, that was a weird comment.
well, yeah, because
It was like out of nowhere.
Well, no, because
Well,
Gamora
no,
was
because-
saying he's useless,
Right.
And she was just like, well, he upgraded me. But
And his family.
I wonder if he used. I wonder if her arm is laced with vibranium. Like I wonder if he used Bucky's arm that she brought him.
Maybe.
And
He
used
did
that to
steal
help
it technically.
Right, she brought it to
It did look like it was
in some way. Yeah,
sort of
vibranium.
maybe he did like nanotech vibranium.
It's so
could
cool.
be. That would be.
He's the
insane.
smartest dude. He's so freaking
He is
smart.
He's so smart.
I did like that. He's like, "How did you know?" And he's
Yeah,
like
that
freaking out
was-
at him. He's like,
And there
I
was
don't know.
there was a moment where the highly evolutionary, it was great, where he was like,
he was infatuated by him.
well, yeah, but he made a statement when he was talking about how infatuated he was.
Yeah.
He made a statement like a species that cannot think thoughts that aren't their own, or that aren't already thought for them, is
Right.
worthless.
right.
Right.
And so the only creature he ever created or
That
manipulated,
created their own thoughts.
Sure.
like original thoughts, was
Original
Rocket.
thoughts.
I
was
think that
Rocket.
has to speak to as
So cool.
educators. You could speak to this more, but like that's a cool way to look at like the world or people or kids or whatever. You know, like you put these kids into like I'm not trying to get into this at all, but like
He's getting into it.
he like the high evolutionary is creating this whole species of like the higher beings, right? And he's creating these things, and they're putting them in regiments and all these other things. But then he created a defective raccoon that, because of the lack of regiment and everything else, he had enough to expand on himself and
Right,
create
right.
something.
If all they
himself.
can do is rote memorization and not think
Right,
for
they'll
themselves,
never be-
They're useless.
They'll
Right.
never grow and
Yeah.
learn.
They
Right.
won't be able to contribute to
So
society.
if you're a
in
raccoon
any
out
way.
there,
we love
stick with it.
Yeah.
You could grow to be a larger raccoon with a big brain.
you. And a fail-safe device on your heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I aspire to be. A raccoon with a fail-safe device.
I know when I was a young lad.
I know. I always wanted to.
What's your favorite and
Man.
least favorite part?
Favorite is really tough. I think my favorite part, man, because you guys took a lot of mine, but like that I agree with.
Stolen.
Stolen.
Nailed it.
Another part though, I loved Counter Earth when they were on Counter Earth. Like
Mhm.
Yeah, the 1960s.
they were like no, they were like the 80s, like or something.
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the family photos had like the 80s backgrounds. And
It was like late 70s, maybe
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
80s.
And I loved when Peter drove the car and Nebula's trying to get in the car.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
like-
the
he's
one
like pushing
F word.
Yeah, you
Open
gotta
the
say,
door.
Pushing the button. I am. It looks like you're kind of pushing on the keyhole. You got to push on the
This is
buttons
a dumb
below the
design.
handle. And she's like,
Now what?
now what?
Now what?
Open the door. And it was just like,
I love Drax in the house.
But yeah.
Well, why is it oblong?
Oh my gosh!
What
The
it's there
couch
for?
situation.
It is so that you can sit.
I see
See,
what
everyone
you're
said,
doing.
you guys said, or not you, one of you said that there wasn't that much comedy, but there was just
There was
enough.
just enough.
And
said
that's the
that there
thing
was-
with
but you're
Guardians.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, well,
I
and that's,
also said it just wasn't as much as like 2 and
Sure.
1.
2 and 1 were
It
more
was a
funny.
lot more.
Well, and
Right.
we've said that Marvel has a hard time balancing that, and this balanced it.
They struggle
freaking
anymore.
perfectly. So that
I know I'm not off camera anymore, but
we're getting there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, let's
we're
wrap it
at
up.
1 hour and 30 minutes.
Oh my word!
Yes.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. So yeah, that was probably my favorite part, other than the other things you guys have said. My least favorite part, and you assuaged it a little bit, Harry, about
I'm all about that
people
assuaging.
a little bit about how long people can survive in space. But I think Peter.
Oh.
Oh
Peter-
yeah, there was too much.
So I didn't mind the fact that he couldn't make it back. I don't mind the fact that Adam saved him. I thought that was great.
I thought it was fine.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah,
I
that's
think-
not one.
I think he stayed out there too long. Like they stretch that where he's like,
Yeah.
he starts bloating, and it's just like, he shouldn't make that.
Yeah,
Like, just save him
Yeah.
a little faster. You can
Yeah.
save him a little faster, and it
It
can
was
still be like,
unnecessary.
oh man.
it was
No,
unnecessary.
I'm gonna take back my coolness. I mean, it still is on Counter Earth. When he dove the scientist out the window, and Groot and him just grind the scientist through the ground and
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
kill him.
kill him in the pond, and he like rips his
He's
head
like,
off
we're
with
all going to die. He's like, well, one of us is.
yeah.
and they just
Yep.
like just ground him across the man. Oh my goodness. All right.
I did like how Groot was falling with style.
yeah, with
Yes.
the wings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Groot wings.
Yeah.
Groot's the
Groot.
best,
Groot's
man.
awesome, man.
All right, verdict time. All right, we'll wrap around. We'll go this way this time. Harry, start us out.
Oh.
There's no camera over there anymore.
What?
It's over there.
what?
Oh, what?
What do you think? Verdict time.
It's hard. It's a hard
It's
one.
tough. I think it's a tough one. So we'll do the comic one first, then your personal.
Sure.
So comic. What's your comic verdict?
Comic verdict. It's a perfection in comic verdict, I think. Just because of with each character, it's kind of hard because the original Avengers, the original Guardians, I don't think they had Groot in it, right?
Nope.
No.
Groot wasn't in it. So,
Groot was a villain in the original comics.
right.
He was a giant. He was much more like Colossal Groot at the end of the movie, and
Right.
he was just a terrorizer.
Well, he is.
Yeah,
He's kind of OP.
he's a thick boy
He's a
in this
thick
movie,
boy.
man.
Yes, he is.
At one point, there was a scene. I think it was when they went into the High Evolutionaries, and he like Peter walks past the camera, and then Groot like walks past. I leaned over to Jamie. I was like, "Boy's thick."
Boys.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
He had all those guns, man.
Yeah.
That was
That was so good.
so
That-
sick.
That was
was
pretty
great.
sick scene.
And, and Peter like diving
All
in.
around him.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
so good. Anyway,
They are good at that.
yeah, the fight choreography was great.
I think comic wise, I think it's a perfection.
Yeah.
Um.
Cool. You wise.
Yeah. So
What is the?
I was
opposite say?
thinking in the shower this morning. I was like, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Careful. This is rated M
I know.
for the masses.
Anyways,
What do you think?
but and it kind of Logan kind of spoke to it a little bit. He's like, if we keep allowing Disney to do this, this is
Yeah.
whatever. But the thing is, at the same time, Disney's not going to listen to us
100%.
because
Well, maybe they will.
We know that. Well, unless people stop going to the movies themselves and stop paying for the movie and paying for Disney Plus and paying for whatever.
Come
Sure, and
on,
we
Disney.
see that in other products that we see now because of choices that they've made or whatever.
Yeah.
Currently, right? We don't need to talk about it, but we know what I'm alluding to.
Yes.
So you can come up to your own devices on that. But
Elude yourself.
sure. So unless people start doing that, which I don't think any of us are going to do, nothing's going to change. So if I have to live then within the realm of what Disney is making, then
Right.
like I said in whatever, not verdict, but the
The
review, but like way in the beginning of the review,
Yeah.
an hour ago.
It's so hard to remember.
Yeah. What I said earlier was that if they weren't going to kill people, I
Right.
needed them to break up. There
Yes.
couldn't be the same
Agreed.
Guardians of the Galaxy. They
Yes.
can't keep making money off of the same groups of people.
Right.
Kind of like what they did with Avengers and things like that. So
Yep.
it's okay that they're doing that. And
Yeah.
it is okay. You have to accept it. So I think it's a perfection. I think it's the best way it could have ended without
Wow.
killing
Everyone.
Yeah,
I think
agreed.
that's the only way that they could have done it. I think that there's different ways they could have sent people off and doing things. I think they could have sent Mantis and Drax off, and I think people would actually want to go see that because it's funny and it's good. And then they could all kind of
be a show.
Sure.
That could have been a show.
That could have been a show that I would have been like, I'm okay with watching this.
I'm not seeing a Mantis show, but a Drax.
And I'm not seeing a Drax show.
Nope.
Right.
Rather, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
And I know I do want to see Nebula run nowhere with Kraglin and everything.
Yeah.
So
no, Kraglin's with the Guardians.
That's true.
He's
Yeah.
with the Guardians.
It's just Nebula and Drax on nowhere. Yeah.
Which will be interesting.
She's a
but
good,
like
good
I don't understand
sheriff.
why they just didn't keep Mantis there with her.
I think Mantis has been controlled her whole life. Like I think she needs to go out there and figure herself out.
It's a good explanation, but it's
okay.
Just don't do anything with it.
Yeah, no, we don't need more Mantis.
Just allude to things.
Let her go do her thing. Let her come back.
Sure, and talk about what she did.
Yeah,
sure.
let her
have some
come back
cutscenes
more,
about things. So
more self-actualized.
So all that to be said, I think it's a perfection. I think it's as good as it could have been with the way that the channel that Disney and all of us have to stay in because of what they have made.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
The monster of not killing people and not having a darker tide that like comics are, and unfortunately they are like that. But they're written there because that's what life's about. It's about tragedies and champions and things like that. So, unfortunately, this is the channel. This is the bed that Disney made, and I'm just laying in it and I'm taking it for what it's got. So
yeah, and we're gonna keep giving them money. We're gonna be those people that keep giving money. Yeah,
but out of all three, so let's do that while we're doing
so
this.
out of our three, yours, so this is your favorite.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
number one's my favorite.
So 1, 3, 2. Or 1, 2, 3.
It's like maybe 1, 2, 3 or 1, 3, 2. It's kind of in the middle.
All right, fair enough. All right, okay, all right. Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you all the way through. So, comics accuracy wise, this is the most comic accurate Guardians movie, and I think it's the most comic accurate MCU movie in a while.
Sure,
and I thought it was good. I think he made the changes where he needed to make the changes to kind of modernize and MCUify
and make something original.
Right. We don't, and we've talked about that before, where we don't want it to be exactly cookie cutter of the comics.
There's only something. There's only a few characters that Batman.
Right. Batman, we want cookie cutter because it's already great.
Because nothing has ever been. There's
until the Batman is the closest we've got.
Right. But even the Dark Knight trilogy, that was still very comic accurate, but it was still not an exact adaptation of it.
Right. No. Right. So I would say it's a perfection for comics, and for me, I would also say it's a perfection. I love the movie. I thought it was really great. Agreed that I wanted people to die, but I explained it in the review. These guys deserved a happy ending, and it was freaking wonderful. I want more of all of them. There's no member of the Guardians. I might not want them all solo, like you were saying, but there's no member of the Guardians that I'm like, man, I wish they'd just kill them off and put somebody new in. This is great, and it's a great way to do it because now we get to see Rocket flourish. We get to see Peter find his family. We get to see Drax and Nebula, take care of people, which is what they want to do.
Peter's interaction with his grandfather in the cutscene is hilarious.
They're like,
just hilarious. Don't even get me started.
Well, now I want to know.
45-year-old man.
Now I kind of want to know.
45-year-old man, able-bodied,
sitting on the porch watching him
cut his lawn. I love it.
Don't even get me started on it.
Can you get the moment that Peter walked in and his grandfather recognized him?
Yeah.
Freaking that broke me, man. It was so good. It was so good. Anyway, so I would say perfection both. My run, I say it's 2-1-3 is my favorite.
You have an idiot too?
2-1-3.
Yeah, he's the worst.
Stop it. I'm the best idiot you'll know.
I got one of those too, man.
Yeah,
everything he does.
Everything
he does just ticks me off.
I thought you said something else. I'm the best idiot you guys know.
That's
real quick though, before you jump in. The point that you made about that after watching this movie, you feel better about the future of the MCU.
No.
That's right. That's what it was.
I don't feel better about MCU.
I was thinking at first you said that. Okay.
You out of your mind? I feel worse about the MCU because James Gunn is gone.
I was going to say,
it's true.
If Gunn
James Gunn is gone. If James Gunn had stayed, I would have felt better. But
that's true.
I feel good about DC. I don't feel good about Marvel.
Yeah.
My bad. Real quick.
Marvel might as well shoot themselves in the foot.
Real quick. James Gunn taking over DCU. freaking Jim Lee just became president.
I
of DC
saw
Comics.
that. I saw
They're
that.
on the
Holy
right track.
crap! Everything
Right
is
track.
falling
Everything
into place.
DC is about to. Hot take. DC's going to
Open
overtake MCU.
Open it.
You heard it here first.
Heard it
Heard it
here.
here.
They got two people in the
Mark
right
our
spots.
words.
Two people in the right
Just make
spots.
a clickbait about that. Just this this cut right here.
The
That's it.
title of this: DC overtakes MCU. Go ahead, Logan. What's
Hit
your
it.
verdict, man?
So I'm going to
Finish this off with a horrible. Nothing. Never mind.
No, I am
think
going to
he's
make it
gonna
real
be-
simple.
Let's hear it.
It is perfection for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, wait, whoa, ding, 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 ding. Wait,
Wait. Oh wait.
That
That
was
was
the wrong thing. The wrong
Is this
button.
the right? No.
No,
That's
that's not right either.
oh, it's this one. Yeah.
There it is.
we all agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, gentlemen.
Did you see that? No, give your verdict. Now I'll tell you
So
this. Go ahead.
it's perfection for me. I really like this one. I think it really.
Is this
set
your
the
number one?
marching. This is my number one.
Number one of the Guardians.
Can we all agree though? This is the worst of all the music.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
agreed.
I
This
agree
one's
with
the
that.
worst of
I
all the
agree.
music.
There was
agree.
like
They
two-
started off with Creep, and I was like, all right,
Yeah, Creep
Yeah.
was great.
I could see it.
Bookends. Creep was really good, and the last song was like the perfect way to kind of end it. That the dark days are over, like the 2000s.
Well, it was Creep, and then it was Beastie Boys. That was pretty
Beastie-
good.
Well, Beastie Boys is always
was
good.
And then,
Always
but
great.
dude, the whole other two movies was just banger on banger.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one definitely fell flat.
It's
but
perfection,
perfection.
and I really love a dark movie.
Sure.
I just do.
Yeah.
I really, I think a dark tone to a superhero movie is generally, not always, but generally the right route.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
comic books for the most part are not like your fluffy,
Sure.
like happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
And that's what you and I are more entailed type because
100%.
of DC.
Right, because of DC, your
Yeah.
DC background.
Yeah, and I agree with that. So, but it's perfection for me. I believe it is 3-1-2, and
Okay, we've all had
is-
different orders.
Yeah.
This is the best trilogy of all the
Oh,
Marvel
yeah.
trilogies.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with
I
it
agree
too.
with that.
All the Marvel trilogies.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
And even though I say 2 is my bottom, it is better.
Still
than
better than-
most of the others.
It's better than the worst of all the trilogies.
I mean, like
Agreed,
for the most
agreed.
part, you're exactly right. For all
It's
of
actually
them.
probably better than most of the like mid-level
mid-level.
trilogies.
I
100%.
agree with
And
you.
I'd even say even for some of the top ones.
Some of them.
Some.
Some. I would
Yeah.
need to think
Best
a little bit
Ant-Man.
more.
Really
Best Ant-Man compared
No, it's better than
Yes.
Ant-Man's.
Yes.
better than
Better than
Ant-Man.
all of the Ant-Mans.
better than Thor. Better,
Ragnarok?
No,
yeah,
it's
tough.
not better than Ragnarok.
Better than-
It
Well,
is
if you took Ragnarok,
I'll
because
put-
some argue that Ragnarok is not even like close to any of the Thor movies, other
I'm
Thor
gonna put my
movies.
foot
Sure,
down on
sure,
that
sure.
one.
We're not
Yeah,
talking
I
about
didn't
that.
think
Down
about-
on that
well, I
one.
was thinking about Love and Thunder as the third.
Love
That's
it.
the fourth.
Loving what?
Gross.
Gross.
Gross. So perfection.
Perfection.
Wow.
Yep.
Look at us.
Look at
Look
us.
at
Who would have
us.
thought?
Look at us.
Not me.
I mean,
No.
All right.
No.
Well,
But I'm really impressed with this movie.
yeah.
Sure.
I'm really impressed with this movie.
this may be the last one that we have anything.
We have a
Like
rough.
this.
MCU wise. I think
Yeah.
we got some DC coming up.
I think we have some really rough stuff that's going to.
I'm gonna look at you guys.
Marvel.
It's a good run with Marvel.
Yeah, you had
been
a good,
fun.
Had a good run, Marvel. Thank you.
I
Thank
think
you,
Marvel. I am really afraid for Marvel going forward. To be honest.
Yeah, me too. Well, you know what? Well, the Marvels is next, but
That looks awful.
It doesn't look great.
yeah,
It doesn't
looks
look bad.
Real bad.
I would say
It
No,
doesn't
it's-
look great.
I would
Disagree.
say. I would
That's okay.
say.
Now, all right,
I
we're
would
back
say-
to normal.
No,
No,
Let me fight you.
That was a sweet
No,
little perfection there.
No. This is horrible.
Have a good week.
Terrible.
Next time with Legion Comic Correction. Check back next week.
It was a good 30 seconds. End it.